Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. If you're thinking, hey, weren't you wearing that same outfit in your last video? Yes, I was. I'm still sitting here drinking the same tea too. I'm catching up on some filming today. I'm drinking some oolong. It's called Lazy Morning. It's from this brand called Renegade Tea Estate. It tastes like a very kind of classic green oolong. It is good. Today is a video I've been mentioning is coming for quite some time. I'm really excited to just sit and swatch some pretty shadows with you today. This is going to be a video of all of my favorite single shadows from Sydney Grace that I like to use as just single shadow eye looks. So what qualities do I look for when I'm looking for a really good like single shadow for a one shadow look? For one thing, I like kind of dimension in the shadow. It's one of those where you can put it on your lid and it looks like one way, and then you start to blend it out and it looks another way. That way it looks like you're wearing more than one shadow. Also, I tend to look for general kind of creaminess when it comes to eyeshadows. When blending them out, I like them, if I'm going to be blending them, to have that creaminess factor that makes it look like you're kind of wearing a cream shadow. I really enjoy that, and that's why Sydney Grace is so amazing. Their shadows can blend and blend and blend, and they just stay looking creamy. So here are some of my very favorite shadows from Sydney Grace that I like to wear as single eyeshadow looks. Let's talk about the one that I'm wearing today. This is the shade Peace from Sydney Grace. Of course, these will all be from Sydney Grace. Now, I put this in like the pink category in my eyeshadow collection, and on me I feel like it really does look pink. Although on their website I think they describe it as more of like a warm taupe. Am I remembering that correctly? Oh, it's so wearable, so gorgeous. This is a standby shadow in my collection. If I don't know what I want to wear, it goes with so many different things. It always looks flattering on me. If you have green or blue eyes, this color really does make your eyes kind of pop, but it's not too out there. It's still like an everyday kind of neutrally pink. If you want to amp the wattage with this, it's very easy. This pressed pigment formula from Sydney Grace has so much pigment in it, it really doesn't take much. For me, I put a little bit on my lid and then blended it out, but it'd be very, very easy to just really pack it on the lid and make it very, very intense. So if that's what you're into, know that you can do that with these shadows very easily. Sydney Grace shadows will last forever. I do have a little bit of a dent in this one because this one is my favorite, both to wear and to swatch. So this one would be my first recommendation. So glorious. Now I do have a couple other pink shadows from Sydney Grace that I love to wear as single shadow eye looks, and I'll show those to you right now. Let's do pink since, you know, we kind of started with something that's kind of pink. This is the shade Blondie. You can see in comparison to Peace up here, it is much more pink. Oh, it's so pretty, you guys. I love this color because it's not a bright pink or a baby pink or like a very vibrant, bright pink. It's just the right tone of soft pink. Very, very easy color to wear. And another color that's very similar, there's just very, very slight differences between them, is the shade Turtle Doves. Now on my hand, you can see that Blondie is more pink than Turtle Doves is. I would say if you're gonna go for a more neutral one, get Turtle Doves. If you want more pink, go for Blondie. I don't think you necessarily need both in your collection. I do love both of them, however, so I'm happy to have both of them. All three of these pinks make for great single shadow eye looks. Oh, I forgot to mention, the whole reason I'm even doing this video at this very specific time of year is because Sydney Grace always has a massive sale in July. It's coming up very quickly, and in case you are new to Sydney Grace, I thought I would let you know some of the best ones, especially for like single shadow eye looks. Now that we've done pink, let's move on to purple. So this shade is called The Greatest Gift. It has a beautiful, oh gosh, this one's shifty. Now I'm gonna get myself into trouble if I'm trying to describe these. It's purple, but it has gold running through it, kind of gold and green. Let's swatch purple over here. Woohoo! It having that purple base, but then flashing kind of gold like that, makes it so beautiful to wear all by itself, all over the lid. It makes it look super dimensional, very much like a mermaid eye color in my mind. At the same time, it's still not too out there. It's very wearable. Another one, gorgeous, that's called Winter Garden. Instead of having a gold flash, this has more of a blue, I suppose. Kind of way more cool toned than the other one was. But I'll put them right next to each other, so they should be much more easy to compare. There, see how that one flashes gold? That one flashes with like blue. Hee, so good. They're both amazing. Now, I can't talk about amazing purple shadows from Sydney Grace without talking about Troops. I think it's one of their most popular shadows. So let me get you a swatch for this one. Holy smokes. So you can see that the base purple on this is a lot more cool toned than the Greatest Gift, but it also flashes kind of gold like the Greatest Gift does, but at the same time they're not really similar at all. Two very different tones of purple. Oh, they're both gorgeous though. Look at that. Yay. Okay, we've done pinks, we've done purples. Let's do some neutrals. We have to start with Tiara. This shadow. Ooh, so it's very, very cool toned, quite silvery, but it's like a cool taupe, but with an intense silver reflect. This was my first love from Sydney Grace, and it makes for the most look at it. Every time I swatch it, I'm just so happy. It's incredible. So don't let how shiny it is throw you off. Like if you're just not into that, just know that if you really blend this out, it's just a really beautiful creamy looking taupe. Blend it out a little bit more so maybe you can see it. No, it still looks pretty bright. Just know it is so amazing just by itself all over your lid. Obviously you'd have to like a cool toned shadow to really appreciate this one, but it is fabulous. So now comparing these two shadows, Peace, which is described as a warm taupe, and then Tiara, which is a cool toned taupe. You can see the differences between the two. They're both amazing. I'm gonna try not to turn this into a swatching all my Sydney Grace shadows video. These are just my favorites to wear as single shadow looks. So next up, let's do the shade Somber. Now this actually isn't one of the pressed pigments. This is one of their shimmer formula shadows, but definitely does not suffer from lack of pigment. So you can see that is even cooler than Tiara. So if you're after for more of a gunmetal, well, perhaps not even gunmetal, it's not quite there. It's just cooler, more gray than Tiara, but it looks incredible blended out, so creamy. Another one that is the same way. This is the shade Rover. Now this one is a pressed pigment like Tiara is, but see how Tiara has an intense silver reflect? Rover does not. To me, it reads more of like a really nice satin. It's not nearly as shimmery as other pressed pigments from their line, but it is a great color. It's a little bit more warm than Somber, a little bit more brown than gray, and again, just has an amazing quality that when you blend it out, looks so creamy on the eyelids. So those are my favorite singles from Sydney Grace. Let's go through them again. We have Peace, Blondie, Turtle Doves, The Greatest Gift, Winter Garden, and Troops. We have Tiara, Somber, and Rover. Now, Sydney Grace has an enormous amount of stock, so many glorious shades, many of which I have not tried. So, you know, this is just a little sampling of some of the beautiful things that are over there. They have a really nice collection of green shadows that I haven't even started getting into. So, oh, I hope that you guys love perusing Sydney Grace. Definitely check out their sale. This is the time of year. I've always had really, really nice interactions with them, like on Instagram and everything. They're just always so nice. So I really enjoy supporting their company, not just because the products are so good, just because they're nice people. If I missed any of your favorites to wear as single one and done shadows, let us all know down in the comments. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video. Bye!